Howdy folks, welcome back to my channel. I've got something kind of fun for you today. You know, recently I was kind of thinking about it and I'm like, you know, I've got a lot of musical gadgets. And some of them may be instruments and some of them may be like accessories, but I just kind of consider them gadgets. And I started thinking about it, I was like, you know what, I could probably make a list of those. And I thought, you know, I'll come up with 10 gadgets under $75 and do a list. And then I realized that it was really not hard to come up with that many. So I was kind of like, should I do under 50? Should I do under 25? What I do? And so finally I just settled on $60 because it seemed like a good number. And I was like, okay, I'll get it down to 10. And guys, I could not get it down to 10. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna do a dozen musical gadgets under $60 that I personally have, use, and love. Now, I just want to do the disclaimer here. All of these might not be pristine items because these are things that I use. So some of them might be beat up. There might be stickers or Velcro or other stuff on them. And I'm not going to clean them up for the sake of this because this is what it is. I'm showing you that I use these things. So here we go. And I'm going to do them in no particular order. But let's just start it off. So first and foremost, number one, my Eastrock Melodica. And I love these things. They are so neat. They are just fun to play with. It's like a keyboard instrument and a wind instrument in one. And they make several different styles. Now, Eastrock, they make a 37 key version and a 32 key version. This is the 32 key. They make it in several different colors. And then there are other brands that make similar ones. I personally have the Eastrock one, so that's the only one I have experience with, but I know that there are many other brands out there. And this particular one sells for, I think it's about 27 right now on Amazon, but I'll just say 30 for argument's sake. So about 30 bucks, you can pick one of these up. I really like the 32 key Eastrock, but again, there's a number of them out there. They just sound really cool. Sometimes it's just neat when you need to put in that little extra thing in a song. It's just All right, number two. The Quadra Thru by MIDI Solutions. And this is one of my favorite pieces of gear. Now I realize this is fairly specific to an electronic music instrument or electronic music musician. If you don't have keyboards and drum machines and those kind of things, this might not be useful to you. Although some of the newer effects pedals on the market do have MIDI support, so you can use to synchronize effects pedals too. But what this does, it's a very simple device. You send a MIDI signal in the top here into the top jack, and it just repeats it on these 4 jacks. So it allows you to send a signal to 4 different places. Now you might think, well, why would I need that? So if you get into actually making music and you might have a drum machine and a keyboard and a sampler and maybe a sound module, and you need them all to synchronize so that the drum beat isn't playing out of time with a sequence or out of time with maybe you have like a delay effect on the keyboard. And so you want them all to synchronize, and this makes it so easy, guys. I can't tell you how many times I have used this thing. It's just when you're doing little setups and you're like, oh, okay, I really need this to work. You need one of these. Get them at most of the big stores, you know, your Guitar Center, Sweetwater, Musician's Friend, those kind of places. And a lot of other places as well. Very cool. The Quadra Thru from MIDI Solutions. This is a great gadget. And my next one focuses on the percussionists, and it's right here. Here it is. It's a Meinl Egg Shaker. And this is by far the most affordable on the list. You can get these at pretty much any music store that sells percussion style instruments, a Guitar Center or anything like that. And they're $3 for a 2-pack. Okay, so you get 2 of these for $3. Now they also have a 4-pack that I believe is like $8, and you're asking why is it more? Because the 4-pack has different colors, whereas the 2-pack they're black like this. You know, if you like the colors, that might be a selling item. But the point is, these are around these are only around $1 or $2 a piece. They're very, very inexpensive, and of course they can be used to keep time or to add a little shaker effect in the background on one of your tracks. But the other thing that is amazing about the Egg Shaker, if you are not a percussionist and you try to play this, you will realize how terrible you are. Because like, there is a huge difference between this and this. And if you actually try to start playing this and you start to do little patterns, you'll realize really quick how good of a percussionist you are. And I'm not a great percussionist. So Anyway, but you really do need one of these, and for the price, this is a no-brainer. Moving on to item number 4, we have the Vox AC30 amPlug. And if you've never seen one of these are super cool. So it's got a 1/4-inch jack on it, and you plug it directly into your guitar. And then up here on the top, is it on the top or the side? It's on the side, sorry. You have a headphone jack. So you plug headphones in here, and you plug this into your guitar, and you have an instant amp. So now you might be thinking, well, you know, why can't I just plug headphones into my guitar? Well, you can't do that because the guitar is a mono signal, and there are maybe some guitars that might have a headphone amp built in, but it's pretty rare. Plus you need an amplified signal. But where this becomes really nice is I know that you can play unplugged. We've all done it. You sit around at night, you're just playing unplugged on your electric guitar. Well, that's great for, you know, practicing your chops and, you know, getting the chords right and everything. But there may be things, especially if you're trying to practice a song, there may be times where you need to play differently or change the pickup arrangement, or you really need to see how the delay sounds in that context or something. And that's where this comes in. This is great for that. And I love this little thing. I actually bought this because I was years ago, I actually drove like 4 hours to buy a guitar because I couldn't find it. And I had to stay in a hotel overnight. And so when I stayed overnight, I brought this with me so I could play the guitar in the hotel room, and I've had it ever since, and it is very useful. Love this thing. One of the great things about it is up here on the top, you see it has gain, tone, and volume, and then this little button changes through your effects. Pretty flexible, and Vox does make a few others, but this is the one I like. This is the AC30 amPlug from Vox, and these are about $50. The next item, number 5, is the most expensive on the list. It is the KORG Monotron delay, and I unboxed this fairly recently actually, but I've wanted one for a long time. Very cool little thing. Yes, you can use it to just make little noises. But where it really becomes useful is that it's also an audio processor. So you can plug pretty much anything into this and get a delay and a filter. So you could plug your guitar into this. You could plug a keyboard into this. You could just plug the radio into this and make it sound cool. It's a very cool little thing for experimenting. 60 bucks, brand new. They sell them pretty much everywhere. The KORG Monotron delay. Item number 6 I have right here, and it is the Ocarina Wind Sweet Potato Ocarina. Now, I'd say any ocarina is good. They're just a good thing to have around because kind of like the Melodica, it's a good little thing where you just need to throw in some ambience or a mood line. But this particular one, I did a little bit of research before I bought this, and this seems to be a really good bang for the buck. This one is $16 brand new. You can get these from several places. And this one is in the key of C. They do make some similar ones that are in other keys. And, you know, ocarinas are a big, deep rabbit hole, so I'm not going to go into that whole mess. But this is a great thing to have around. It sounds really cool. Number 7. This definitely qualifies as a gadget. It is right here. So you might be saying, what the heck is that? Well, this is the Key Dog from KV Gear. And it looks like, you might be thinking, what the heck is that? Well, it's made out of lead or something very heavy because it's got a lot of weight, and then it has a little piece of like cork on the bottom so it doesn't scratch. And what it does is you set it on a keyboard's key, and it's heavy enough to push the key down and make it so that note drones out. And I know some people, when they introduced this, said, well, that's dumb. I can use a million other things. Yes, you can. You can use a million other things. But this thing is so great because it's so compact and it's heavy enough. Oftentimes, small things just aren't heavy enough. It's compact and it's heavy enough. And it doesn't scratch the key or anything because of that little surface on the bottom. And it's just so easy when you're like playing. Like I'll do things sometimes where I have a keyboard going and maybe a sequencer going, and then I'll be playing guitar with it. And I can just put that on the key, and if it's just a single note, it can drone out, or once in a while I can reach up and change the note or whatever. And it's just very, very simple. I love this thing. It's just quick and immediate. I actually have several of these because I really like them. And I met the guy from KV Gear, very nice guy. And this is just a really cool thing. These are about 18 bucks. And you know, some people laugh at it, like I said, they're like, gonna pay $18 for a weight. No, it's very specialized and it works great. And I think it's well worth the $18. Next thing is the rock slide. And there are a number of guitar slides out there, but this one you'll notice as I turn it here, it's got a couple of unique features. First of all, it's got that little flat part right there. And then on the bottom, it's got a little notch right there that you can see. So it's basically got two little notches. It's got a notch here, and then it's got a notch up here. Other than that, it basically looks like a standard guitar slide. Well, believe it or not, that shape, those two notches are what make this thing unique. And they've patented this, and they make them in several different, you can get them in metal like this. I believe this is the nickel one. You can get a brass one, you can get a glass one, various different materials for the people that like that slide, but they all have the exact same shape. And when you first look at it, you might think, I don't know what that's for, but if you put it on your finger, you'll notice immediately that that little notch in the bottom makes it so you can bend that knuckle. Because oftentimes when you put a slide on and it slides down to here, you can't bend this finger anymore. Well, that little notch just gives you enough room that you can bend. And then this little notch up here, the other thing you'll notice is as you're playing, your other finger just naturally slides right into that notch, and then the slide doesn't move on you. And so it's just two little notches, one here for your joint and then one here for like a finger rest, but it makes such a difference when you're playing slide. I really, really like this slide. And these are about $30, so that's pretty expensive for a guitar slide. I mean, you know, some guitar slides are like less than 10, so it's pretty expensive for a guitar slide, but like if you try it, you will realize immediately what those two grooves are for. And, you know, personally, this is my favorite guitar slide. It is just really great. All right, and on to number 9. We've got another one for the percussionists out there. This is the Wambooka Performer Pad. And it comes in like a little mint-looking tin. And you open it, and you'll see there's some little things in here. And I'm just going to take one of these out. And it's like, it's got this, this plastic on it, but you can see it's kind of like a rubberized material. And what this is for is it makes any drum sound better. And what you do is you put the big part here on the surface of the drum, on the actual drum head, and then you put this somewhere on the rim of the head or, you know, somewhere else on the drum just to keep it secured. And it's very sticky and it does not come off. And I use one of these on my Eastrock snare drum that I have, and it made such a big difference. This whole pack, it has 4 of them in here, and this pack is $10 for 4 of them. You know, if you have any sort of drum, you need one of these. Okay, number 10, I have the Rolls MX51S line mixer, and I know you can't see the logo or the model number here because my Velcro covers it, as I mentioned before. These get used, but this is such a cool little piece of gear. It's just a simple 4-channel line mixer, and it's actually designed more for like commercial level stuff, but it works great. And on the back, you see it's got an XLR here, and then for the second channel, for the first channel, it's got an XLR. For the second channel, it's got both 8th and RCA. And then for the 3rd and 4th channels, it has RCA and then RCA out. Now realize RCA is not always ideal when you're dealing with musical instruments. Typically they're 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch. But we do have an XLR and we have an 1/8 inch here. And you can pick yourself up a couple of these, always have a couple of these around, and plug that in here. And now all of a sudden we've got another 1/8 inch jack there. So it does make it a little more flexible. But you know, obviously it's got an individual level control for each, so you can mix stuff up. So let's just think about this. If I wanted to have like a drum machine and like a sampler and have a microphone to mic up something, you know, something acoustic, like maybe like glockenspiel or something, I can do that with this. I don't need a big mixer. I can just take this along with me if I'm doing something little like that or experimenting or just sitting on the floor playing or whatever. It works great for that kind of stuff. It's just perfect. And the other thing that's really nice about it is it has a headphone out. So even if you're just doing something simple like that and maybe you don't want to disturb the whole house and you just want to hear it through the headphones, bam. So this is a very cool little thing. This has come in handy more times than I can shake a stick at. These are $55 brand new. They sell them at most of the big shops. Again, this is the Rolls. It's actually, they call it the Multi-Mix 2, but it's the MX51S is the model number. And number 11, we have, voila, a damper pedal. So This one is from M Gear, which is a subset of, or a subdivision of MAudio. And, you know, a damper pedal, people are saying, okay, well, that's great for a keyboard, but, you know, nobody else is going to want that. Well, not true. These are actually very useful. So if you look at this end, it's just got a standard 1/4-inch jack at this end. And what this essentially is a switch inside of here. Switch closed, switch open, switch closed, switch open. But here's why I really like this one, is it's so much more than a damper pedal. You see this little switch on the bottom converts the polarity of the switch here. So in one position, when it's in this position, it's open and closed here. And then if you switch that, it's open here and closed here. So depending on what your equipment needs, more than just keyboards use damper pedals, guys. So you could use this to like do a tap tempo on a delay pedal, or you could use this to trigger something where, you know, maybe you just want this to come on when you step on it and then you want it to go back off again. There's a million uses for this thing, and these are $25. And here's the thing, there are some other damper pedals out there, some that are even cheaper than this one. And I've messed with some of those and they are very plasticky. This thing is solid as a rock. I have stepped on this, stomped on this, I've thrown this in a backpack. I've not been able to hurt it so far. It's a really rugged pedal, $25. This is the SP2 from M Gear, or from MAudio. And finally, my number 12 gadget under $60 is this. This is my Aklot acrylic Kalimba. Now, if you're a subscriber to my channel, you probably saw the Kalimba shootout that I did recently, and this one was my favorite, so that's why I used this one. But really, any Kalimba is a good thing to have around, because just like things like the Ocarina or the Melodica, this is just a great little thing where sometimes you just need that little extra sound in a song, or maybe you're just sitting around and you just, you know, want some music ideas in your brain. It's a great way to work that out. And this one just sounds really cool because it's just got this cool chimey tone. These are $40. That comes with the case and all of that. Very cool little thing. This is the acrylic Kalimba from Aklot. So there you have it, guys. There are a dozen musical gadgets for under $60. Again, I'm not trying to say these are the best ones out there. These are just ones that I know of, that I own, that I use a lot. And I just wanted to share that with all of you guys. You know, not all gear has to be expensive. There are some gems out there that are only a few dollars in some cases. So just wanted to share that with you guys. And if you like what I do on this channel, or if you want to see more of these kinds of videos of me just kind of showing gear and endorsing it, leave me a comment below. Let me know, because I'm happy to do that. I could do musical gadgets under $100 or $200, or, you know, whatever you guys think. Just let me know if that's the kind of stuff you're into. And regardless, if you like this channel, hit that subscribe button, guys. This channel's all about musical miscellany. I'll see you guys in the next video.